Hey everybody. Sorry for the crummy video quality. My camera's actually sitting right there. That's all nice in HD, but pretty sure the battery's dead. So we're recording this off the old laptop, and as the title up there would suggest, it is a review of Iron Man 3. We just saw it tonight. I couldn't see it at midnight because reason, and I don't know why Bob couldn't.
Working.
Working. Yeah, so anyway, we went and saw it tonight, and it was really good.
I would agree.
Yeah, just, this is going to be a little spoilery. I'm going to talk very long about it, I don't think. Just wanted to get some quick thoughts out on it, and join this fad of everybody posting Iron Man 3 reviews. So, I think I got 6 or 7 people in my subscription box that posted Iron Man 3 reviews. So I don't know, I just wanted to get a quick thoughts on a video out and go on. So Bobby, why don't you start?
One thing I want to point out, this is the first movie after Avengers.
Mm-hmm. And
this was the first test to see exactly with a more established universe where everyone's aware of everyone else. And I thought in this movie they did a really good job managing with that, with still being its own movie.
I like, to that point, Mandarin has a line that talks about, ever since the guy with the hammer dropped out of the sky, there's no room for subtlety. And I think that really does work to this, because, I mean, by the way, you didn't want to speak up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's just that it has a lot of references to Avengers without being Avengers the epilogue.
Yeah.
And I like how what happens in Avengers is fundamentally shaking Tony Stark's world, because that's something I'd never really thought of. How does a scientist react to, aliens and wormholes that he can't explain? It's just fascinating to me.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did you think about the new director coming on board?
One of my favorite movies is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
And I just watched this week.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
And could you
Check it
tell it was the same team?
Yes.
Or same guy behind it? Because there was so many moments of those subversion of expectations.
Oh god, I loved it. I love the new director they brought in for that. So
he did a really good job. But that's the thing that don't get me wrong, people, go see this movie. It's great. I mean, I don't know why you're waiting for me to tell you, but anyway, it's really fun. It's really good to see. But there are a couple of things I thought were really odd about it. Did you notice that it seems like maybe a third of the action scenes are Tony out of the armor?
Yeah. Did you like that or not like that?
I'm not sure how I felt about it, because they made this big deal, or maybe it seemed like it was a big deal in Avengers where Captain America says, "Shake away that suit, what are you?" So it felt like they were just like, well, we'll show that Tony Stark's still a badass without the suit. So I don't know. I thought it was weird that there was that whole scene in the hardware store.
I think they could have done a little more with the story to support that more too. With there was a theme behind that, defining, is Tony Stark, what's Iron Man? Is it Tony Stark or was it the armor? Mm-hmm. And they had that a little in that, but
I'm not sure if they answered that question or not, because that last fight scene, he's not really doing much. It was his plan to have this, he put all this into motion, but he isn't really the successful part of this plan.
He's not, which was...
And I mean, without that twist with Pepper that I saw coming for quite a bit, without that twist for Pepper, he kind of failed in that last fight.
He did. But then again, that kind of changes the formula.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, it does. It seems like Pepper saves him in each of these movies.
This was one of those... It wasn't like she helped him out.
She beat the bad guy. Spoiler, sorry. I said spoilers, so... Yeah, I mean, I thought that was weird. It's, he's definitely the hero of the movie, but he's not the one doing everything, which is interesting. I don't know how I felt about that. And I feel like War Machine got shafted again, which was weird.
Yeah.
He was barely in it, and then the times that he was, it was very much comic relief. Though Don Cheadle, when he popped out of that armor and kicked that dude, that was so cool.
What little we do have of him, of Rhodey, I think it's good, but I just would like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm like, anything I say about this movie is going to be less of a, like, this movie sucks, because it's more of just like, I really enjoyed it, but kind of things. And I don't want to go into every single little thing, because I don't want to be the guy that hates Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
But it's just, I really enjoyed it, but it's got a couple things I just found weird. The biggest one is just Tony Stark not being in the armor for, long stretches of the movie. Like, I thought it was really weird that so much of a point of Iron Man 2 was, Iron Man and I are one. And then, really, really close to the beginning, in this, he's piloted in the armor remotely, which felt odd.
Yeah.
And it's a great payoff with that. It's just, it doesn't seem like it was in his character before that.
I think a lot of that could also be with just having like one of the events of Avengers could make him question Tony Stark what he needs to be focusing on. Like one thing in this movie is you don't see Tony Stark drinking like it be the party boy in this one at all.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
You can definitely tell this is a lot more mature Tony Stark.
Yeah, I think he has he goes into a bar and he gets a drink that I don't think we ever see him drink it.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that. It's great character stuff. I really do like his character journey, and it's something interesting that before the movie started, Bobby was telling me that it's going to be this and Avengers, and then Downey Jr. is done playing Iron Man apparently.
Well, technically, this was his last movie for his contract.
Yeah, I'm just saying as you were telling me. And it's interesting because this really could be the last Tony Stark film.
It really could.
The last time we ever see Tony Stark as at least as a major character. Like, I could see him being a S.H.I.E.L.D. consultant in the other movies, but that'd kind of be, I don't know, maybe
out
a
of character
letdown.
a little bit.
Not necessarily, but just kind of a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. Especially since a lot of people, let's not beat around the bush. Tony Stark is the main reason people are really into the Marvel Universe, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean,
for the mainstream wise.
It was Iron Man that really kicked off the whole Marvel Universe on film thing. So yeah, that's really good. I don't know. I found it really interesting. It's a great character arc, and I do agree with the points that they make. I don't know, the last summation thing, that kind of bugged me. It felt a little cheesy, didn't it?
What was it again?
Just when he was summing up the narration toward the end, and he's all in all, they weren't an extension of myself, they were a shell. I didn't need you to tell me that. I kind of got that.
And one problem I had with that scene was, I would have wished Happy died. Nothing against the character, but it just...
Yeah, I mean, he's not in the movie. I mean, honestly, he's only alive so that Tony can be in a public place to make a threat. He should have died in the hospital. In my opinion, he should have died in the hospital while Tony was with him. And that would have been a stronger scene. Just because he doesn't serve any purpose in the movie besides pointing Tony, literally pointing Tony in the right direction. And, I don't know, just to go back to him, it was such and this guy's okay, and everybody lives. It's funny, because when you watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, there's that scene in the end where he's like, and he lived, and it's like, I know, why don't we just bring them all back, and Abe Lincoln and Elvis are walking into the room.
But for this one time, it really happened.
Yeah, it's just, that always makes me laugh. What I don't like is, it looks like they're getting rid of, I didn't like this for a couple reasons. So they give Pepper Potts superpowers, so she can have one scene of kick-assiness.
Yes.
And then, what bugs me is they allude to the fact that they're taking them away at the end of the movie. There are two reasons this gets to me. One, she's got fucking superpowers, and obviously, they can be controlled and you can live with them fairly well, as the villains in the movie establish. Two, Tony Stark's a hardware guy. I get that he's a genius, but he's strictly tech and hardware and stuff like that. There's been no other point in any of the movies where he showed the slightest bit of knowledge about biology. No point whatsoever. He's like, oh yeah, I figured it out 20 years ago when I was drunk. Dude, what? It's such a strange thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels like, I'm not gonna say that he couldn't figure it out. It just feels that the way they introduce that he is going to be able to, it's messy for his character, and with it's just, why not keep her as a superhero? You know?
Yeah.
That would be awesome to see. You know, War Machine, Pepper, and Tony have a fight scene, like as not necessarily in a whole movie, just a fight scene where all three of them are, you know, in one battle. That'd be cool.
Now, speaking of the superpowers, how did you feel about Iron Man fighting someone with superpowers this time, other than someone in a suit?
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Finally, took forever to get us there.
It's like when Rhodey gets out of the suit and he meets the Mandarin.
Mandarin.
And he shoots fire out of his fucking mouth.
It's like, you can breathe fire.
I'm done.
Surrender. No, I mean, I really did like that, and you know, I don't know why Guy Pearce is one of my favorite actors. The Time Machine. Anyway, I just really like him as an actor, and it was really cool to see him in this. And like, God, plaid suits. If anyone can pull off a plaid suit, it is Guy Pearce. No, I really enjoyed seeing him in this. It was just fun and cool.
Now, how did you like the reveal that
Ben Kingsley was not the Mandarin?
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever. I really liked the caricature that they set up there, but it just, as like around about the second video, I was like, oh, so this is gonna be the Mandarin the entire movie? That's kind of disappointing. We're just gonna have another terrorist, so it's just gonna be like a little bit of a more active guy from the first movie. Now, the one thing I really did like is this subplot that runs through each Iron Man movie, where there's like, you know, your central villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first one you got your terrorist, the second one you got Whiplash, and then this one you've got the Mandarin as the, you know, cookie crushing guy, let me say. But in each of them you've got this subplot of this person who's trying to profit from war somehow, or the like, basically. And that's actually the more important villain to the story, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I found that fascinating, because in the first one, Warmonger, and the second one, you got Justin Hammer. And in the third one, they kind of blend both of them. You can see Mandarin as is a disguise, and it's also this guy with superpowers trying to profit from it. So I thought that was a really cool way to blend it, and that's part of what makes it such a satisfying ending to the Iron Man trilogy.
Yeah. Well, my initial reaction to when they gave the reveal that the what was the actor's name again? That was
Ben Kingsley?
Yeah, when Ben Kingsley was an actor.
Yeah.
At first, it actually took me out a little bit from the movie. Just I liked it, but it's one of those things that's gonna be better for me the second time watching it. It just my expectations were. I had to gather myself up again.
See, I didn't mind it as much because, like, it's that scene where he gets there in the truck and he goes and he sits down and everything, and like everyone's in awe of him. It was just starting to feel really Bond villainy.
Yeah.
And in a Shane Black movie, I don't necessarily want a Bond villain.
See, like at first, I kind of had trouble with it, but once they start, the story progresses another,
And he's, oh my god, you never get to see Ben Kingsley do comedy, and he does it so well. Oh, I loved it. And the thing is, I really want in Avengers 2 just to be a small reference, like I want to see him like on a talk show or something, where he's just like, yes, I played the Mandarin. He's like one of the greatest actors ever, apparently. I just found that really, really fascinating. It was really well done. It was a great turn of a reveal. It could have been seeded a little bit better so that you could figure out. We just did the Geeky Gentleman on Mystery. So if you want to check out me expounding my thoughts on this, what would have been cool is if you could have figured out the two mysteries in this, because there's him being an actor, and then there's the vice president.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to really tell you it's this case. I mean, slightly more with the actor one. But there's nothing to really tell you this, as far as I can tell on the first viewing. Maybe...
Besides who the actor was.
What, Ben Kingsley?
No, the actor of the vice president.
Oh, well...
He always plays that kind of guy.
Well, anyway, like I say, there's nothing, at least on the first viewing, I might retract this. There's nothing that leads to this, It would have been better, like, alright, so the vice president hangs up the phone and then he goes and like does something with his daughter, and she's missing a leg, right? And that's our reveal that he's in cahoots with the Mandarin, which is a fine reveal, but honestly, and unless I missed something, which is entirely possible, we should have seen him with his daughter in a scene or two beforehand.
Yeah.
And honestly, rewriting the DNA, it was too subtle in that scene with Pepper Potts. He should have said, we can regrow limbs and stuff like that. He should have been much more direct about the practical applications. Which, once again, can't believe I'm bringing this up again, but the guy that's playing, the dude that's pretending not to be the Mandarin, is at least trying in some ways to be a better person than Tony Stark is as far as the paraplegic community is concerned. I keep thinking about this. I'm like, why isn't Iron Man helping the paraplegic?
Wait a minute. Maybe Iron Man's the bad guy.
Right. Iron Man's the bad guy in these movies. No, it's
no. In Iron Man, in Mandarin, is the good guy.
Yeah, Mandarin's the good guy. Yeah, we just rooted for the villain the entire movie. It's all about perspective, people. I don't know. It's one of those things I was thinking about because they're working on making exoskeletons for people that are in wheelchairs so they can walk. Well, Tony Stark can pick up cars and shit. Why hasn't he made like a low-powered one that like has an encryption thing so no one can turn it into a weapon so people can fucking walk?
One thing I want to point out real fast was I love how when at the very end you got all 42 or right around there of the suits.
Yeah.
And Rhodey's like, all right, suit me up. I don't. They're only encrypted for me, so yeah, maybe you shouldn't steal shit.
Yeah.
I like it that they saw that, at least White doesn't even... Okay, his best friend can do it, why can't more people steal a suit?
Well, they kind of covered that in the second movie. They said that that Tony chose not to shut it down. They did cover that briefly. But anyway, what I really liked about that scene with all the suits, it was really cool. Once again, it kind of creates a plot hole with the previous things, but maybe not, I don't know. Because I don't know if his arc was finished at that point or not, but anyway. What I really liked about that scene is, I don't read comics, but I bet you that at least a majority of those armors were things like special armors that we've seen in the comics beforehand.
Yep. The most notable one would be the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm a little disappointed it didn't do something besides
lift.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cooler if it did something useful. And I was... do you think there should have been, like, an Avengers cameo in this? Besides
the after credits?
Yeah. I don't know, I would have liked if, like, you saw Tony with the, combat thing in the very beginning.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if he was on the phone with, Cap. It's like, so what do you mean? Up and then? Like, if he'd been, like, getting fight training from Captain America or something. Just little things like that I would have enjoyed. I mean, there was a shout-out to S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't know if... Hulk, Incredible Hulk shouted out to S.H.I.E.L.D. I need more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Go see it.
There was 2 characters I had a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
One was the small part of the guy in the van that Tony's trying to...
Yeah.
Very Marvel's cartoonish comic book character.
That was kind of dumb. What else?
And the kid.
Really? You didn't like the kid?
It was just... He was acting like a kid. He was acting like, a kid was supposed to act. And that was the thing I liked about it, but it just...
I don't know, I like...
Like, there was parts I liked about it, but as a whole, I found it kind of annoying.
See, I didn't, because...
That's a personal choice.
I think it could have been much worse, because I remember in that scene where they're looking at each other through the car window...
I enjoyed that.
It was at that point that this could have been Iron Man with the kid's sidekick. And I led over to Bobby in the theater like, Iron Man's going to have a kid's sidekick. And, it really could have been that movie. And I think they made a conscious choice not to have it be that kind of movie. And I liked that about it. And I like that the kid is actually really intelligent and Tony sees himself in that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, I mean, I suppose there's kind of a mirroring of characters on different levels in this. Because you got the kid who Tony sees himself as the boy genius. you've got the guy that ends up being the real Mandarin. I keep forgetting his name. Damn it. Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, you got him, and he's like Tony if he kept being selfish and kept dealing with the military to serve his own needs, and you got a couple other little things here and there that Tony's seeing himself in, and maybe this is his journey of the character.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there are other characters we can draw parallels to. I think.
Yeah. I just like it. It wasn't that the kid was bad. It's just personal taste. It was just.
Yeah, I like that he isn't in the movie for more than like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
I do like.
Not 20 minutes total, but for his chunk of the movie is only about 20 minutes long.
And I really did like the dark humor in this movie too.
Yeah, there were some really good jokes in this.
I think sometimes the jokes had bad timing.
Like.
Let's see. Whenever there was some serious scenes with I can't recall right now. But
examples always help strengthen
I know.
the points you
look down in
make
the
in a
comments. I will think about it later, and if they're not there, this argument is invalid.
review. No, I'd agree. There's some great dark humor. I love my favorite one was the henchman that just gave up because that never happens, and it finally did. I mean, I know with Shane Black we weren't gonna get another oh, you don't think I'm serious scene again, but I was really glad that we got what we did. So yeah, that's all my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching, everybody.